Mars Bars, you can call me Mars, and today I wanted to talk about my favorite detective show. Well, it's not one of those big ones like Criminal Minds or Law & Order. I absolutely love this show, and I actually have no idea how I found it. I think my mom showed me one day, and she always finds the most niche shows. I'm not actually sure how niche it is, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Anyways, the show is called Death in Paradise, and, like the name implies, someone dies in paradise. As in, someone is murdered in a Caribbean island called Saint Marie. The show follows a random British inspector who is transferred to the island to be the police chief, along with his 3 other officers. They always have the lead British detective, his usually female sergeant who goes with them everywhere, and then the comedic duo officers who process evidence and do all the tasks the detective inspector doesn't want to do. The episode format is usually the same. The first scene is random people doing something, which ends with one of them dead. Immediately after, the intro plays, which is a big juxtaposition from the intro scene. A tragic murder followed by the most happy-go-lucky music ever. It makes me laugh. Right after the intro, we have a scene of the inspector doing something at his house, usually pretty weird, and then his sergeant comes to pick him up and takes him to the murder. Why does the sergeant have to pick him up? Listen, the police force on this island is not that big. They have 1 car. Right after going to the crime scene, the episode can go in 2 ways. First, the death is just a murder and they start the typical investigation, or the death looks like it was natural and then the inspector sees something minor that convinces him it was a murder. This can be anything from blood being dried when it should have been washed away, to someone leaving their nail polish open. Often when they think it was natural, the suspect gets annoyed with the inspector for asking them about the death, which is fair, I guess. Anyways, the investigation starts and we follow as the inspector and sergeant go interview suspects and hand off all the interesting parts to the side duo. When I say interesting, I mean forensics. I've gotta admit, these are some of the least professional police officers I've ever seen. When questioning a suspect, they'll be like, "Oh, so we discovered you had a fight with the victim. Did that make you angry? Angry enough to kill? You killed them, didn't you?" Meanwhile, they didn't kill the victim. They're just harassing these suspects out in the wild. Also, they break into places several times on the show. Not to mention how they reveal the killer. Yeah, sure, it's a TV show and it's designed to be entertaining, but oh my gosh, the way they reveal the killer is so insane. So the inspector gathers everyone at some location related to the crime and then doesn't just say, "Here's who did it." No. He goes through at least half of the cast and accuses them just to say, "No, it's not you," airing out everyone's secret for no reason. A lot of times in these episodes, people will have some sort of secret related to the victim. They were the victim's secret child, they were having an affair and the victim knew, they were broke and the victim gave them money, things like that. So the inspector will be revealing the killer, and he goes, you were having an affair and the victim knew." And everyone just turns and stares at the person because no one knew. And then that person isn't even involved with the murder, so he just said that unprompted. They also figure out the murder in the weirdest way possible. The inspector's doing a puzzle at the start of the episode. Near the end, he'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this puzzle piece doesn't fit, just like the murder doesn't fit," or something dumb like that. It's so funny. The inspector is so confused until the end where he sees something is like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, I know who did it." And then his police force, they're like, "Who is it?" And then he doesn't tell them, it just cuts away. I think the worst one for me was an episode where a woman died and her old colleague was blamed and died in jail. Turns out it wasn't her, and all the new suspects are the husband, his daughter, the daughter's husband, and the other coworker. So Inspector, in front of everyone, reveals that it was the husband who killed her and framed the colleague because he was having an affair with her, and he put the body in concrete in his house. Mind you, the daughter is pregnant, sitting right there, so she turns around and is like, "Dad, tell me it's not true." This poor girl, they kind of like sat her down and told her privately or something. Moving on from the unprofessionalism, I wanted to talk about some of the main cast. The cast is revolving. I'm on season 7 and there's only one of the 4 main from season 1 left, and I know he leaves eventually. The main 4 from the first 2 seasons are Richard Poole, Camille Bourdet, Dwayne, and Fidel. I absolutely love Richard. He's my favorite out of the first 3 inspectors. I think his writing is really good, especially compared to my least favorite out of the 3, Humphrey Goodman. So, Richard is the first inspector, and he is not suited for living on an island. He goes everywhere in his suit, he doesn't eat seafood, and he's just like super awkward. This is explained by him not really having any friends back in England and being bullied. And now in Saint Marie, he actually makes friends. His awkwardness is endearing, you can see him grow as a person, and he spends time with his police force, and especially Camille. Normally, I don't care about straight ships, but you know what? These two are just so cute. She helps bring him out of the awkwardness and fear of people, and he's just like so out of what she normally goes for, and they just fit so well together. Of course, they don't get together because this show doesn't want me to be happy. Richard is the first out of the main cast to leave, and I won't spoil it because you should watch what happens next, but they bring in Humphrey Goodman next. I can't stand this guy. They take Richard's awkwardness and just multiply it by 10. He's always tripping and falling over things, making really awkward moments in the show.
Yes.
And he's just really bad with people. The worst is how he's in love with Camille, because, of course, he confides in Fidel just before Fidel just vanishes from the show and he's replaced. And then he never actually asks her out. He's super into her and she shows zero interest in him. While Camille seemed fine with Richard's awkwardness and was working on bringing him out of his shell, Camille feels like Humphrey's mother. He's always losing things, being disorganized, falling, knocking things over, and she's always picking up after him. She even has like a list of things she gives to the next sergeant to be like, here's how you take care of him, as if he isn't a grown man. She honestly seems more annoyed with him than fond half the time. Humphrey ends up lasting seasons 3 to 6, and Camille does leave partly through his time. Fidel is replaced by Florence, and Florence replaces Camille, so they have to bring in JP to replace Florence. Camille leaving was actually crazy. Okay, so she gets a job opportunity to take a job in France, but she doesn't know she should do it. She even tells Humphrey he's good to ask because he's an outside perspective and doesn't really affect her leaving. But he almost prevents her from leaving. His job is to sign a paper for her, which she doesn't know about, and if he doesn't, the offer will be rescinded. He almost lets her lose her job because he selfishly wants to keep her. That's gross. Anyways, you can tell I really don't like Humphrey that much. Thankfully, he's replaced in season 6 by Jack Mooney, an Irish man with a daughter who comes to the island with him. She leaves for college, so it's just him for most, and he's pretty chill. He's also kind of awkward, but in a normal way. He isn't used to living alone. His wife died around a year prior, and his daughter just left, so he feels weird. I like him, he's pretty sweet. Besides the main 4 police, there's also the commissioner, who's sometimes in a full episode, but mostly just pops in once in a while to make everyone nervous. He also abuses his power, mind you. Richard gets an offer to go back to England, which he's wanted the whole time, and the commissioner doesn't tell him until he has 2 hours left. But we ignore that, I guess. The other main recurring character is Catherine. She's Camille's mom who runs a bar that the main cast is in almost every episode. She is important in her screen time, to be fair. She helped figure out several murders and gives alibis as well as runs for mayor. Anyways, to really give you an idea of what the episodes are like, I will give you an episode created by me in 5 minutes or less. I'm gonna tell everyone your secret. You wouldn't dare. Man, this back pain I've been feeling today. It's like someone stabbing into my side. I could ask Mikan about it. Ooh, birds? Would you like to go grab a drink? Yes, I would like that. Oh my gosh, these birds will not shut up. I can't sleep. Good morning. We need to leave. Someone's been found dead. Alright, Shuichi and Nagito, you two go do off-screen investigation while I take all of the screen time. Aw, man. Hey, be happy you get a side plot this episode. Okay, so does anyone have conflict with the victim? No. Hell no. No. You're not all just lying to me and I'll discover that later in the episode, right? Okay, I'll see you later then. Chief, I found information. Yeah, me too. Also, I'm having an issue with my girlfriend. I guess my subplot's just helping you out. Nah, I'll do that. So, what do I do in this episode? Flirt to get information? Aww. Commissioner, what a pleasant surprise. I just wanted to remind you that I'm in this show. I'm going to be the least helpful guy here and then go to my yacht club. Okay, Commissioner. Man, he makes me nervous. Okay, Chief, let's go talk to the suspects. Are you sure you had no fight with the victim? Of course not. Okay, then why did we find evidence that he owed you money? Oh, it seems you would benefit from the death. I suppose. I bet you were angry he wouldn't pay you back. Did that make you angry? Angry enough to kill? No, of course not. What's wrong with you guys? We'll be back. We heard you two had a fight with the victim. Well, yeah, I hired him to tell my fortune and gave me such a stupid answer I wanted a refund. Interesting. Why didn't you tell this to us at the start of the episode? That would make the mystery so much less interesting. Yeah, fair enough.
I fought him because he stole medication from me.
Did that make you angry enough to kill him?
What? No, I just said we had a fight. People fight all the time.
Hello everyone, I have drinks. Thank you. Man, I can't figure this case out. The victim owed Celeste money, knew about an inappropriate office romance, and had a fight with 2 more. Wow, sounds difficult. Yeah, I had to run all around collecting stuff. I really had no one cares. Be comedic relief. Eventually I'll have an emotionally impactful episode. These birds are super loud. Yeah, I know. I was talking about it this morning. The birds are so dumb. Wait a minute. Did you realize something? Yes, but of course. But no, that doesn't make sense. They would have to... Okay, who did it? Chief? I know who did it. Who? Gather everyone together. Why can't we just go arrest them right now? I will fire you. Never say that again. Yes, boss. Why are we here? You know, this case was confusing from the start. How did someone kill Hiro when you all have an alibi? How are we supposed to know? You're the detective. Could it have been you? You are in a relationship with your staff member, which could get you fired. That's a motive to kill. I didn't kill him. No, you didn't. Why did you have to expose us, though? Be quiet. Next is Celeste. The victim owed you money. Yes, I already explained it to you. Yes, you did.
Okay, so did Celeste do it?
No, that's because it was you, Mikan.
What?
Why would she do that? Well, the first problem was figuring out how she snuck in to kill Hiro when she was supposed to be with Fuyuhiko at the time of the murder. Turns out she used a thin needle that would kill Hiro when he took off his belt. After using birdsong to lure him into the room, or whatever random thing I used to figure out this case was, he took off the belt and died. But why would she do that? Turns out she was the one stealing the medicine and he caught her. She could lose her medical license. Is this true?
Please, forgive me for this.
Nagito, Shuichi, arrest her. Good work today, guys. Can I please have a subplot next episode? Maybe. Let's make you go on a date with a guy and then he gets murdered. Are you kidding me? I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and with that, I'll give my final thoughts and wrap this video up. Even though this show is super cheesy and predictable, in the sense of plot points, you actually can't tell who the killer is sometimes, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Eventually, I'll make it to season 15, but for now I have to finish season 7. I highly recommend that you watch it. I have so much fun watching this show. I mean, clearly, as you can tell, I enjoy it. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!